The longtime Colorado DNA analyst, who's now facing 102 felonies, was in court today. That's where a judge ordered her to surrender her passport. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen. Today, the attorney for Missy Woods also succeeding in getting the restrictions on her bail loosened. Initially held on a cash-only bail of $50,000, the judge ruled that that could be a bonding agency. Kevin Vaughn from our 9 News Investigates team is joining us from the newsroom. What's the significance in the change of bail? And just explain that whole thing.
Sure, Tom and Kim. It's simple. It means she can get out of jail by coming up with a fraction of that $50,000, probably in the neighborhood of $5,000. Woods appeared virtually in a Jefferson County courtroom on a TV link from the jail. The criminal charges allege she manipulated DNA data in hundreds of cases. It was just last week that a Douglas County judge sentenced Michael Jefferson in the 1985 murder of Roger Dean. It's a case Woods worked on. A new round of DNA testing confirmed Jefferson's guilt, but even so, the family and prosecutors agreed to a plea deal. They did that because they feared a jury could be tainted by the allegations against Woods.
I wanted to witness Missy Woods finally coming to justice for everything she's done. She has damaged further all of the victims as well as their families in her actions. You know, what she did, that can never be set straight. There is always going to be that question out there. Did she do something to manipulate it? Or did she leave something out?
Woods no longer appears in the Jefferson County jail log, although I've been told in the last couple of minutes that she is still being held. The next hearing for her is scheduled for February 20th. That's a preliminary hearing where prosecutors will have to convince a judge there's enough evidence to take her to trial. We should note, however, that those kinds of hearings are routinely postponed, sometimes multiple times before they finally happen. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Interesting to hear from Tamara today, Kevin, because in hearing more about that case just last week, that sentencing, that was a case that was unsolved for decades, and there were a lot of mistakes along the way in the search for who really was the killer, and that's devastating to them when they finally find they're getting some justice.
The fallout from this stuff is going to ripple for probably years in the criminal justice system. It probably has already done some damage to the sanctity of DNA testing and what people think of it.
Yeah, it's something that we thought was such a great thing, the new frontier in solving so many cases. So, all right, thank you, Kevin. We know you'll be following this for a long, long time. Court records show Woods tampered with DNA evidence of more than 24 sexual assault cases. She claimed she had not found male DNA when processing those cases, when in fact she did find small amounts. This news is triggering memories for a lot of sexual assault survivors. Angelica Hoyle serves as the Director of Client Services for the Blue Bench, Denver's only sexual assault prevention and support center. And she says cases like this re-traumatize survivors.
It's going to bring up intrusive thoughts related to the event. It might bring up flashbacks. It's not uncommon for it to have a pretty significant impact on the symptoms they're experiencing. When there are issues with the DNA, that just adds to the amount of time that the survivors are in this spot where their healing might feel like it's on pause.
If you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault and is in need of support, there is help. You can always call the National Sexual Assault Hotline. It's operated 24/7. That number, 800-656-4673.
We certainly aren't seeing much melting with the chilly temperatures hanging around. Take a look at the nice shot that Sky 9 delivered earlier today at the Boulder Flatirons. Tomorrow actually is going to be the warmest day of the week, so enjoy it because our Weather Impact team is now tracking more snow heading our way on the way to the weekend. Let's get right over to Kathy and talk more about that. Kat?
Welcome back, Tom.
Good to be back.
Just in time for the weekend and warmer weather. Well played, my friend.
Well played.
Exactly. For a day. We'll give them a day, Kim. Yes, today, temperatures in the mid-30s. Tomorrow, temperatures in the mid-40s. Might even see a 50 out there ahead of another front and a chance for snow in Denver. The snow is so pretty, but you step outside and you definitely need a jacket or a sweater, and that will be the case as you move into the evening. 32 downtown, 28 in Denver and Fort Collins, 24 in Colorado Springs. Wind, thankfully, we're getting a little break from it now, but the wind expected expected to increase along the foothills ahead of the next weather system. I've been tracking a few light snow showers across extreme eastern Colorado. Things are pretty calm and quiet here in the metro area, but that will be changing with the arrival of a front that comes in late tomorrow night. This is a new winter weather advisory starting 5 o'clock tomorrow night. Denver is not included in it, but if your weekend plans take you to Aspen, Vail, Steamboat, you've got some fresh snow to ski and snow ride on for the weekend. Temperatures in the low 30s in downtown Denver now. We'll drop into the 20s by 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Your weather headlines: we have another round of mountain snow, another round of foothill wind coming up tomorrow into Saturday, and Denver will be looking at some snow on Saturday morning. Not for the whole weekend. I'll have the timing and impact of the weekend storm coming up.
There's an investigation underway into a fire that started this morning in Fort Collins, or last night, I should say. The high winds helped spread that fire. 2 mobile homes and multiple outbuildings were destroyed. Poudre Fire says everyone was evacuated, but the firefighters did evacuate 1 person after they inhaled some smoke. And this weekend, Southern California is expected to get some much-needed rain, and the rain certainly could help the firefighting efforts, but also brings the risks of mudslides, of flash flooding, even toxic runoff. Earlier this week, Governor Newsom declared an emergency for people to remove as much debris as they could before this incoming weather. As of today, the largest of those fires, the Palisades fire, is listed as 72% contained. Also today, firefighters working on another new massive fire. That's the Hughes fire that started yesterday in northern Los Angeles County. It forced more than 30,000 people to evacuate. That fire has already grown to more than 10,000 acres in size. Coming up tonight at 9 News at 5, our Jaleesa Irizarry spoke to one Colorado native who lost everything in the Eaton fire and another looking to help with the relief efforts. Many school districts across the state are trying to navigate declining enrollment and dropping birth rates. Meanwhile, the state's largest school district actually saw an increase in students this year.
Much of that is coming from migrant students joining Denver Public Schools, but with a new administration comes some uncertainty for families and the district. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause has that story.
It's been 2 strange years back to back.
There are nearly 2,000 more kids learning at Denver Public Schools this school year. More than 85,000 kids in all, according to the district.
Our enrollment determines our funding from the state.
Andrew Huber is the director of enrollment for DPS. He says those numbers determine how much money schools get and how many people they'll hire. The board, too, looked at enrollment this fall when weighing how many schools would close.
Our enrollment's a big deal.
That number rising mainly due to a massive influx of migrant students last year.
We were excited to welcome these new-to-country students into our system. And we're excited that they made the choice to enroll in DPS when they arrived in the metro area.
Last year, more than 4,700 new-to-country students joined DPS. More than 3,900 finished the year out. 80% of those students are still here.
We saw substantial retention of those kids over the summer, and I think unprecedented situation.
But with a new administration comes uncertainty for many of these migrant families in Denver. The district unsure how many new-to-country students will stay.
We're trying not to respond based on what we think is going to happen. We're trying to respond based on what's actually happening, which is why it's so important for the data to guide the way that we're behaving around this.
Right now, Huber says they're not seeing any big changes from kids leaving the district. It's something they'll watch closely through this semester.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the system right now. What I can say is that we are tracking both student entries and exits on a weekly basis right now.
With so many unknowns, Huber says the district is keeping a close eye on the numbers and their students.
A lot of counting.
Ready to respond to whatever lies ahead.
DPS is already starting to prepare the district's budget for next year. Knowing how many students they'll have will be critical. Huber says they've got projections they're using to help them navigate these next steps. And he says they'll just do what they need to do with the best they can and the data they have and adjust when changes pop up. Rachel Krause, 9 News.
Talk about being nimble. They really have been for the last couple of years now, more so.
Absolutely. They say they've learned to think on their feet, and now they've got 8 months to figure out what they need to do for next year.
Okay, thanks, Rachel.